Hello friends, today I shall read chapter 14, The Turmoil. 30th November 2018. We, that is Bhaskar and I, took Ruplu to BBCI and were right on time 10 am. We handed over the file to Dr. Moshumi and after a while Pooh was called for. Very quickly he handed me his silver chain with the Lord's pendant and his spectacles and entered the simulation room. He was positioned. The body parts to be radiated on were marked and imaging scans were taken. The procedure was well known to him from his experience in 2016 and it was not at all an issue, but some amount of needle pricks for blood tests were the beginning of the turmoil. His school teachers were shocked to hear the sad news of his illness, and Seema ma'am and Dubori ma'am rushed to our apartment in the evening to see him. They made Pooh cut a cake, and their pictures are all treasured memories now. 3rd December 2018. The terrifying treatment of palliative radiotherapy started. 30 gray of conventional radiation shots were given from the front and back of his left chest. Ruplu, in all his innocence, was assured that his lung mass was small and it would respond to the radiation. We could not tell him the truth and make him feel bleak and desolate. Baba, I am very sorry. I gave you a false hope. I could not bear to see you in despair. 4th December 2018. Unfortunately, with day 2 radiation, complications started. Pooh suffered from extreme fatigue and would breathe fast. He had tachypnea. He would pant and puff and sought for a chair to sit even after a short walk. He would lean on my shoulder when we took the lift to the 7th floor, and after a shower I would wipe his body and help him with his clothing. However, he felt better with rest and often checked his oxygen saturation. On exhaustion it would go down to 87% and at rest it rose to 94%. I remember him smiling happily when his SpO2 rose. I pondered and questioned myself, for how long will these sufferings continue? Radiotherapy needed to be stopped, but Ruplu's willpower was such that he said, "Ma, let it be continued for 8 more days." Moshumi auntie said she would check for the response after 10 days. Good Lord, my boy had so much positivity and hope that despite his sufferings he wanted to continue with the radiation. But he required an interval, and so I informed Dr. Moshumi about it and she omitted the day 3 radiation. 6 December 2018. Ruplu was so determined to continue the radiation and walking the short distance from the car to the radiotherapy lobby would make him very tired. He would find a seat for himself amid the patients and would puff and breathe fast. It would take him some time to return to his normal self, but being a doctor's son, his name would be called sooner than the others in the lobby. 7 December 2018. Day 4 radiation became intolerable for the warrior. "This is not done," I said. We could not see the young soldier suffer so much. He developed a dry cough and coughed on talking. So he avoided the phone calls of his friends. The whole circumstance became very pathetic. We took him to Dr. Moshumi's chamber and on seeing his distress, she advised discontinuance of the therapy and said that he needed a dose of steroid, blood tests and a CT thorax. 8 December 2018. Ruplu's first journey to KGMT hospital began. I wanted Dr. Nivedita Goswami to assess him and to give her valuable opinion. When Dr. Nivedita met Ruplu, she asked him, Ruplu ki khabar? Ruplu, how are you? Poo replied bhal, means good, with a smile on his face. Baba, I salute your attitude and positivity. She assessed him and advised injection Solumedrol for 3 days, followed by tablet prednisolone. The injection could have been given by me at home, but the sick soldier wished to take him to the hospital. He was physically tired, but his vibrant mind wanted a drive and an outing to the hospital, and an 8-kilometer drive from our apartment was enough to keep him happy and going. I booked cabin 18, third floor pediatric department, as it was airy and sunny. The best sister from NICU, neonatal intensive care unit, was called to cannulate him. Poo received the best care in KGMT hospital, and he enjoyed the 3 days of the drive to the hospital. In a week he recovered from the extreme tiredness and shortness of breath, but the cough and burning sensation over the left back and inner side of the left arm persisted. I started his palliative medicines, but Pooh was intelligent enough to know that palliative medicines were given to him, and he said, "These medicines are of no use." "It is very disheartening, Baba. I had no words to console you." 15 December 2018. The turmoil continued. Another visit to BBCI for a CT thorax. Dr. Moshumi wanted to see the response of RT on the lung mass. CT thorax was done, and the warrior sat beside his papa, eagerly waiting for the best report. After an hour, Dr. Moshumi called me aside, and as we were discussing, Pooh gazed at me from where he was seated. He was very curious to know about the tumor response and decision about the restart of radiation therapy. Soon his hope and positivity faded. He became sad and hopeless as he could read his mama's face. I was in despair. Dr. Moshumi disclosed that there was fluid in the mass and radiotherapy could not be given as it would cause more harm. I questioned myself. Where did the fluid come from? Whether it was due to tumor lysis or was it pneumonitis, that is, inflammatory reaction of the lung. There were possibilities that even both might occur. I was in dilemma. What do I tell Ruplu? As I approached him, he asked me, "Radiation aru dibone? Olop respond korisene? Size to horu holne ma? Will radiation be given? Is there a little response? Has the size reduced ma?" I had no answer to such difficult questions. A pall of gloom embraced me, but as usual I played pseudo, a double role, a sensible doctor and at the same time a soft-hearted mother who had to lie to see her son smiling and happy. I responded with a yes. I said that the big fraction of radiotherapy from back and forth had reduced the size of the tumor, but at the same time it has caused a little inflammation for which radiotherapy cannot be restarted. We returned home assuring the soldier that soon chemotherapy would be started. 16 December 2018. After my duty at KGMT hospital, I drove to BBCI to sought for a solution to his treatment plan. Ruplu must have wondered why his doctor parents, their friends and colleagues were hesitating to start chemotherapy. He was helpless and puzzled, but with a smile he masked it all. I went to the pediatric oncology outdoor, met Dr. Munlima and told her about the discontinuance of radiotherapy. I insisted that she should at least start palliative chemotherapy for my sick child. She took a little time to discuss the matter, and in the tumor board the decision was taken to start metronomic chemotherapy from the next day. Metronomic chemotherapy is a multi-targeted therapy in which low doses of anti-cancer drugs are given at regular intervals for a long time. Poo was advised for a year and I remember him saying, "এবছৰ খাব লাগিব, we'll have to take for a year." Now I feel if metronomic chemotherapy was started initially, instead of radiotherapy, his lung would not have suffered the insult. It was all a big chaos. The innocent prince could have survived a little longer. Dear, I feel so guilty, as it was I who rationalized the idea of palliative radiation with Dr. Moshumi. Both of us had a good intent to reduce the tumor size to relieve you of your symptoms. It was our fate and bad luck. 17 December 2018. Ruplu attended the pediatric oncology outdoor. Dr. Munlima was surprised at his handsome physique. She never expected to see a tall, healthy boy with a lively attitude as a patient. His height and weight were measured and CT doses were calculated. Blood tests were normal and she advised a weekly injection of vinblastine and a daily dose of oral cyclophosphamide. Injection zoledronic acid was advised monthly to prevent bone damage from cancer. A registration ID card was made for which his photo was clicked, but unfortunately the card remained unused. As Bhaskar and Poo paved their way to the car parking, I took a glimpse of the daycare unit. We had to decide the place for City. It had a large number of beds all arranged in a row, occupied by patients ill-looking and worn out from the dreaded disease. My decision was a straight no. Our young soldier won't be lying amid so many cancer patients. He would feel very low in such an environment. I told Bhaskar about it and we decided to give the chemotherapy in KGMT hospital in a healthy ambience. The turmoil continued and there was a transition from one therapy to another. The pain, the suffering all remained the same. The only thing that changed was the location. So that is the end of the chapter, The Turmoil. Meet you with the next chapter, His Positive Vibes with the Therapy. Till then, stay safe, stay fit.